Okay, here we go. Live edition of Drips After Dark. Little 9 p.m. action coming at you. Got a good one for you folks. We'll be doing Pat heading back to work, Minifans going crazy, producer search, everything drippy in between. But Pat, I thought it might be a good idea to shout out our sponsor for tonight's show, since it's such a special Drips After Dark show. We've got Mutt's Ice. That's right, Mutt's
Yep.
Ice, coldest cubes in New England. That's right, Mutt's Ice. We've also got some fine print here. Looks
Only
like
the
some
cool guys and enjoy.
Mutt's Ice. That's right, Mutt's Ice. But they do have fine print. It says read verbatim. I think it's some sort of guarantee. Let's see. If it doesn't come out tied in a bag, you have permission to call me a fat.
Careful.
That is something wrong with that copy right there. We'll have to get in touch with the Mud Ice
Just
people.
a bit show.
Yeah,
We're a bit show now.
I told you. Welcome to Bitsville.
So while we're on that, you said something. There's one of those around you, right?
Oh, the ice machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes out in a bag.
Yes.
Well, how, say it again. You just have to tie it.
Yeah. So right next to the screen is like this little pouch, kind of, with all the the little ties that you would have like for your bread bag or whatever.
Yes, like it's at supermarkets.
Yeah. So there's just a ton of these little ties, like the little wire ties. So you put your credit card in, you punch in the information, choose how many bags you want, and then it like a bag slides down full of ice, but the top is open, and then it's just up to you to just tie it up.
$1 million idea.
I've looked into it because this is the actual ice thing that I use. Like, it's on the way to both my mother-in-law's house and my wife's grandparents' house, that's where a lot of like the kids' birthday parties and all that stuff happen. So every single time, I don't want it. I think he had a point. I don't want to go in and talk to anybody. And a lot of times,
I hate it.
I think back in the day, I think the ice machine used to be cash. Does that sound right?
No, but I've been to a couple establishments, which don't even get me started, because they've like my father-in-law, his thing is stealing ice. Hopefully it doesn't get him in trouble, but like he gets a high from it. Where they like give you a key and they're like, yeah, it's around back. Just lock it when you're done. It's like, what are we doing here? I'm paying for I should just make this myself, which you can in theory, but that's a whole drawn out process.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think if some ice goes missing, it's not the end of the world for that place, right? I mean, it's water.
Yeah, you
frozen.
just freeze it again. Yeah, but that's an even better business model. The guys that make the ice, but I guess you have to have cold trucks.
Those are the real, like, start going down that rabbit hole. Those are like that's like some ice mafia guys.
Those might be the big players in the water field, honestly, changing the structure.
No, all kidding aside, have you dealt with any of these ice machines in any of the parking lots that you've come across?
I'm glad you asked me that, John. And no, but let me explain something to you called pods. Do you know what a pod is?
Yeah. Well, is that where people put clothes?
Okay, so there's many different variations in terms for pod, but a pod is a proximity on demand service. You heard that right. Proximity on demand service. And it's something that we revolutionized during COVID, right? Cars aren't coming in the lots. We still own the lots. We still manage the lots. We got to get a little cash flow in these bad boys.
Sure.
So we work with, there's no company pods, but for an example, an Amazon locker is a pod. We work with them a lot, or like those stupid scooter bike rentals.
Yes.
Where Amazon, we'll go to Amazon and be like, hey, we got a X amount. We're located here. Give us $2,000 a month, and you can put in 5 Amazon lockers in 5 spots, and you can just use it as like a pickup drop-off hub for you guys. So there's endless possibilities for pods. Now, when Mutt was talking about Mutt's Ice, pods went right to my brain. I went right to pods. So it's a model that could work. I actually think it could bring some success. I was kind of explaining a little bit. There's a few different ways I would do it as a parking lot owner or manager. For one, you have to find the right location. The perfect location is going to be a beach that allows coolers. Now, not all beaches allow coolers. You have to figure out which ones do and which ones don't, who controls said beaches. But the perfect destination is a seasonal gig, something like that, where people always need ice. And there's a few different ways you could do it. Now, if Mutt wants to go out and buy the whole ice machine himself, he is more than welcome to do so. And then he can come to me and say how much to put in a space, or how much to use a little corner of your parking lot, or how much to, whatever. Then you just kind of lease it to him, $500-600 a month, whatever it is. He pays that. He keeps all the revenue. Now, listen, we're open to partnership. I'm open to partnership. Okay. I could go in on the ice machine with him. Say this thing costs 10 grand, right? I'll give him 3 grand. He pays the 7. He owns 70% of the machine. I own 30% of the machine. What does that mean? That means he gets 70% of the profit. I get 30% of the profit. A couple
Math checks out.
And we've done it. We've done it both ways. We've invested some capital in pods, and the return has been very lucrative. Now, there's so many things we'd have to sit down and get on a conference call. Maybe we could dial in Portnoy too, now that he's involved, on how this will work. How much are we paying per bag of ice? What are we charging? Are there going to be utility costs? What's the R&M look like? Does he want the R&M contract to run through whoever he buys the device from? Or do you want the parking lot operator to run the repair and maintenance so that he doesn't have to?
You just brought up that. I was just going to ask that question. Who runs maintenance? Who's running point on this thing? I mean, I'm assuming this is a 24/7 service. 2:00 in the morning is Mutt scurrying out there to get under this ice machine and start poking around.
That's where we get legal, and that's where we get analytical, right? My guys are there 24/7. We're a 24/7, 365 rain, sun, or thunder operation. Okay. So it makes the most logical sense for, if I have a maintenance guy on staff, cross-train that maintenance worker on R&M for that machine. Now, Mutt's a friend, so we'll do the 70/30. But outside of this model, I would 1000% add my percentage to it. Instead of 70/30, we'd probably swing it 65/35 with the 5% additional built in for R&M. Now that could control I'm purchasing parts. Now we're gonna have to get a little juicier. We're going 60/40. But if he wants to pay for the parts that need to be repaired and we're just there servicing the machine, sure, 65/35.
Are you guys looking for a sales guy?
I don't know. Maybe they won't take me back after I leave, and then maybe they will be.
Now, have you considered this? So obviously, Kirk owns the building in Watertown that his studio's in. Everybody knows that. It's worth asking the question: does he also own the surrounding parking lots around the building? Because I think the parking lot might make more sense for the ice machine rather than inside the building where the studio is. I don't know how much ice that hair salon and the Asian church is using.
Correct. When I heard that, I definitely questioned a bit. No, the methodology of open space and open floor space in that building, 1000% I get it. You could put it in that room that Justin slept in during the Jim Tomey stream, the other room that they put all their props in. Like there's countless places.
Listen, they could have used ice during that period.
But that office is generally open about 4 hours a day, 3 times a week. So I don't know if that 12-hour window for ice sales is going to be the most lucrative. So yes, agreed. The parking lot is your best venture. But based off my understanding, the landlord owns the parking lot and she's going to want to cut. And now,
and boy, is she going to want to cut.
What did we say? What did they say on the show? 28% profit margin. The more cooks you have in the kitchen, the thinner the knife chops.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty cool.
It actually makes sense.
That does make sense. I like that one a lot. Let's jot that down. So that's my viewpoint on the ice. We're open to the idea. We haven't done it yet, but we never did Amazon lockers. Now we're in the Amazon locker kingpin game.
So who is involved in? Is it simply a situation where you look at a parking lot and you say, this parking lot isn't bringing in as much revenue as we thought it was going to? Let's look for a pod situation.
I didn't know I was going to cook like this today. I should have brought my chef's hat, but yes and no, John. 1000% yes, but you have to also understand what pod you're bringing in is. If I have a lot that's not doing the revenue that it should be doing, and I go out and I find a pod that's going to bring me revenue, just not a lot, but it's going to be revenue, I have to find a pod provider that wants to enter into a short-term deal so I can kick them out once I start to get that demand back for the higher revenue parking spaces. If I'm putting in a bike rack for $1,000 a month, great. It fills up the garage and I get an extra $1,000. But all of a sudden, 6 more businesses moving in the area. Everyone needs parking. There's a bug on my screen. And all of a sudden, those spots that I'm giving out to the bike rack now are now worth $5,000 a month. So there's a little bit of balancing act. We actually have a pods department that specializes in all this. They take a look at the revenue.
It's a whole department.
Yeah. Run by a woman named Kansas. Shout out Kansas.
Kansas, the pod lady. What about the donation situations? Like, is there any sort of profit made when there's a one of those donation dumpster things on a lot?
No, most of the time it's a write-off. You always look like a scumbag going to them and being like, we don't have many of those. We don't really do a whole hell of a lot of those. But if we do, we'll do it on like a grassy section where cars aren't parked. Kind of like where you put a dumpster.
Dude, I heard that, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that some of those, the closed dumpsters, I think it's like the World something, they're yellow.
Yes, yellow, white, and green.
I think it's a cult. Have you heard this?
Pardon?
I think I read online one time that you put those clothes in there and it gets sent off to some cult. Like, this is how they like clothe the people of this cult. We'll have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Like, you're not just giving it to like some poor downtrodden. It doesn't go to some like home. It goes to some weird cult thing, and that's how they dress everybody there.
Well, I'll stop donating because I'm a huge proponent of those. I have one on the way to work, right on Post Road, and I just stop by all the time and throw a bunch of clothes in there we don't need anymore. If it's going to some like KKK spinoff, I'm not interested. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what their whole what their bag is really, but yeah, I almost don't want to look it up because
see one of my old shirts. Jesus, that wouldn't be good.
It's a drip shirt. Just get your face right on it.
That'd be cool. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, let's follow up on that. That'll be a topic for next week because if it's going to a cult, I think we should do something about that from a higher level.
Right, but if it's not a KKK cult and it's just what your run of the mill cult where like the leader's just like fucking all the guys or whatever, I guess they need to be clothed as well. Like they can't freeze in the winter. That's wear one of your sweaters.
If it's a friendly cult, Minifans are a cult. We're a cultist. I guess it's fair.
I got this shirt from Beanbag Ron. He donated
it. Ron's treat service walking around. Shout out Beanbag Ron and the Beanbag Ron Network.
Yeah. Beanbag Ron Network. It's I forgot.
Testing phase.
It's in the testing phase. Test episodes have been great. I like throwing a random question out there.
On AMA. Give me an AMA once a night, just to end the night, 8:00. That's all I need. It's just fucking people writing in the chat questions, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. He just goes. It's awesome.
Did he ask for questions or did it just turn into that? Because I think I got in a couple minutes late and then I just started firing off questions.
There's been a few. On the first one, he was like, yeah, put your questions to the chat, and it exploded. It was good. Yeah. People love Beanbag Ron. I don't blame him. Great guy. Great network. Great Twitter account.
Shout out. As far as the other,
that was my favorite part, by the way. He was on the stream. He's like, yeah, the Beanbag Raw Network Twitter account's like, he's doing a great job. He seems like a good guy. He's like, I don't know who it is.
I did laugh at Luke's tweet too when he's like immediately after like saying something to the Beanbag Ron Network, and he was like 2 minutes later, it's like the Beanbag Ron Network is overbearing.
It's like this guy's a lot. Yeah. What a world.
Don, we will not be addressing that comment by Don the Jeweler.
Oh God, I think. Yeah, delete that. How do you delete comments?
Holly stepson.
Right. Colin, you creep. I feel like
so we also had wait, what'd you say?
I feel like I look extra thick in the face.
You've been slimming down, dude.
Yeah, but I feel like it's going the opposite. Oh, that's a better angle. Listen, that's something for me to fight with my inner demons, but Collie stepson. See, that's Chevy. I'm moving away from the chat. It's a toxic environment right now to our friend.
Ted Sellers, John from Scranton, Clemmer. We had the Gilroy episode. Where do you want to go? The Gilroy hour.
Gilroy.
It's funny because Gilroy clearly doesn't listen to the show. But I could see him in a situation where he sort of checks in, like he checks in and out. Maybe he's like, obviously he'll see some tweets, maybe listen to a half episode here and there. And if you're not in the world, to you, that's keeping up with the show. But if you're not in on every single episode,
people
you're
fucking hate you.
and you're just so far behind. Like you can't
Oh,
miss. It's just, and he just got the fact that he was bringing up basketball. Like I forgot I was even on the team.
25 years. That was my favorite line. I've been doing this for 25 years. It was magnificent. PRC, people gave him shit. He did a fantastic job of trying to rein that thing in. But
yeah, what were you
my favorite that comment was like, yeah, people are saying you're talking too much. Oh, give me that every time. But he's something else, that guy. He added me on Facebook, so we're Facebook friends, so I can't say too many bad things about him. Patrick Gilroy, but what a character. Just absolutely flying. It's like he did coke or something.
Don Gilroy invited Justin to his house after Canopy just to torch him 4 weeks later.
He wanted to talk to him about all that. Yeah, that's a crazy thing. He absolutely flamed Justin, which is now like apparently the trendy thing, which makes no sense. And had to flame Justin, and then 2 weeks before that, he's like, "Yeah, come over for some burgers and dogs on me."
It was such a roundabout way to get Justin to take the blame for him not being on the team. Like he had to take so many different angles to get there. It didn't make any sense. It definitely all comes down to that, like Kirk talks about all the time, or I think Mike might have even said on the show. It's like you don't want to directly say anything negative about Kirk because you're afraid of the repercussion. Yeah, repercussion.
I think it's both.
So you kind of go, someone as close to Kirk as possible, and you just lay the blame pie.
You know what it is too, and I don't think anyone's brought this up, and I think it's a valid point. He didn't even fit the qualifications to be on the team. Do you remember Cliff's qualifications to be on the team? You had to be in studio twice.
Okay.
This is ironically after Cliff's second appearance, he brought this up. But that was agreed upon.
That's perfect. I love Cliff.
That was agreed upon. Me too. I was such a Cliff guy. But yeah, he's like, have to be in here at least twice. And Kirk's like, yeah, this is your second time in here, Cliff.
Yeah. Got to be originally from Fall River.
He moved over the border. He's on the other side of the river now. But yeah, Gilroy's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But God bless him. God bless him. So if anyone hasn't listened to that podcast, I have to get back into it more. It is an hour of him and his ex-wife just absolutely torching their exes. Like, yep, the stupid bitch didn't want to pick up the kids. It was her day, and she didn't want to deal with them. So guess what? We had to deal with them. I'm like, you guys are unbelievable. Like, God forbid a divorce attorney gets his hands on this. They're going to be like, yep, whatever she wants, she gets.
It's like you're never going to get like a surprise. Oh, my ex-wife did something nice for me today. It's like
you did.
It's like expecting Jerry to like have like a reasonable take about anything. Someone on the left side.
Not that bad. You know what I mean? Her daughter seems very pretty. No, but he did have a positive take because for the first game, I believe he said
that's right. She offered to take the kids.
The cunt of an ex-wife said she would take the children, and then all of a sudden he was on his way to practice and nothing. So I don't know if I could say that word freely. He did, so I'm going to do it.
What was I going to? Oh, about the episode itself. Like I saw some people, whether it be in the chat or on Twitter, they get annoyed when it's one of these episodes where they're just chopping up like maybe a 10-minute or 6-minute piece of audio. And Kirk is just saying like, hold up, commentary, play a little piece, commentary, play a little piece, commentary. I thought it was like that
might be my favorite thing they do.
Yeah, it's like a bit, maybe not a bit, but you know what I mean? Like, I kind of like that. It pisses people off. And extending one little 5-minute thing into an hour, I do enjoy. And just breaking down everything he says.
A lot of times it's like, all right, he says this, well, that was stupid. Do you want him to roll the tape for the next 60 seconds where he says 10 more dumb things? Or you want to be like, that's another dumb thing. That's another dumb thing. He's an idiot. And he just gets more fired up and it gets more spirited. I like those portions. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, there's moments where when he does stop it, I'm like, oh, fuck, he stopped it again. But then obviously they talk about it, like whatever he said. Yeah, so I don't mind.
Don't listen to the chat.
Yeah,
even though I do, I'm in there too.
I'm reading the chat right now.
Standing good.
What do you think about Justin all of a sudden becoming like this evil genius behind the scenes?
This is fucking crazy. It's I like how it's being spun and he is not handling it well.
Yeah, it is funny.
Justin's like, if you remember correctly, just going to the Mick thing, like Mick told us, and Mick, if you're listening to this, I'm not saying this in a bad way. Mick told us to watch a stupid fucking TV show about war before the game that he
That's
coached
right.
in. Made no fucking sense. It was just people getting blown up all over the place. And like, I get it. The guy died, so he dragged him on a battle. So stupid. We watched Justin within like 15 minutes. Was like all set. Watched it. That was motivational. Thank you. Like Justin
That's
did
true.
everything that
That's
fucking
true.
kid wanted. Justin's the most loyal guy out there. It feels like, yeah, he's a scumbag. I never want to work with Justin. It's like, what are we doing here?
So the Mick walkout show that happened after our last episode, right? So you and I haven't talked about that.
I think so. Yeah, I think we would have remembered that. That was something else.
That was why. I mean, the obvious wild part is that he said he'll never go in studio again, and then 2 hours into the show, or not even an hour into the show, he's in studio, which I totally get. Right?
I love it.
The whole everyone's talking about you. You are the center of attention. You say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna bust the door down and come into the studio and speak for myself." Sure, totally get it.
Cook.
But to go all the way up there from the Cape just to walk out, that definitely left me a little bit disappointed, I would say.
Definitely. I was disappointed. It was more like, what the fuck just happened? Because all Justin said was like, all right, give me a point. Give me an example. And like when you tell somebody to give you an example during an argument and then that's when they leave, it's like, all right, maybe he didn't win that one. Like, like he thought he was gonna.
Now, do you think so? I'm just kind of staying with Mick, but switching gears here. The project that supposedly Kirk and Mick might be working on together. Do you think Mick, knowing that there is something that he could help Kirk with, was that like an extra level of armor for him to be like, fuck it, I can kind of be crazy. I can walk out and make this big scene because I know I kind of, in the bag, I'm doing this thing for Kirk.
Maybe. My only thought of what he could be doing is, listen, I say this in the most respectful way. Is Kirk going to let him produce season 3 of the case?
I've seen that thrown out there. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
That would be, listen, Mick could do it. Deserted Truth. I listened. But that would be nuts. No, I don't think that was it. I think that it started off. There's a few different. I think we talked about this. Like, I don't think the Dakota's trip went well in his eyes. I think he needed to stirred it up a little bit, but then like convinced himself that was the truth and stuck to it.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I don't really know what else it could be because it's definitely not a bit. I thought it was a bit at first. That's some hatred.
It sounded like a bit to begin with, even from Mick's side. Like, it almost sounded like he was sort of joking around or being sarcastic, but within a minute or two, like you said, he convinced himself that everything, the world was against him or Justin was against him.
He said his grandfather was like a Nazi or something.
Right.
That's crazy.
Which I have no proof to the contrary, but
true. That's also true.
I think it's kind of interesting in the Mick world too, is Mick shits on his family and friends. Like, he'll talk shit about his brother and Christian and everything else, but when it push comes to shove, they all defend him ferociously and tirelessly.
When it's wartime, they are not like in the back, like, let's go get him. Like, Christian takes his armor off and he's like, let's get in the front line. I'm going to kill somebody. It's wild. Yeah. I know. Maybe he should be a little bit easier on them. I'm still team Mick over the team Al debate, but Al's always there.
He's around
something,
Yeah.
Whether it's for the likes or not, he's always there. So
he's a little clout chaser though. Like, anytime things get picked up on the Mick front, he pops his head out of his hole. He's got commentary. Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, I'm still a maniac though, and I want Mick back in the world. I love Beyond Average. I want him back on the show. So I'm still.
I want Mick to do whatever is best for Mick. Because this crazy back and forth ain't it. But it's fun.
Right.
But like this one, I told you for this one, I was like, this isn't it for me. Like, this is too forced, which maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. And I was like,
the tweets
like, just be yourself.
For me were, yeah.
I was like, take it easy. But he'll be back. Kirk said he'll be back. I wonder who's going to be the producer.
Yeah. So,
or John. I want John too.
Montante bowed out. He had a reply to a tweet where he sort of bowed out. Yeah, what do you
Vegas took
think
a
about all
bath on
this
that one.
John from Scranton? Like people are saying John from Scranton, he says he wants the job, but people say he's pretending that he wants the job.
I think he wants a job, but I also think it's a lot for him to get up and move. Like, but John, I think I've got to know John. I don't know John crazy well, but I think I know John well enough to. He's like the kind of guy that'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Like we're young. Let's move to Boston. Why not?
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
I think he'd do it. Like I think he would do it, not like bag out. I think that's Kirk's concern. Like he might move up here and then like within 2 months be like, yeah, this sucks. Like I shouldn't have ever done this. Like I think if he's doing it, he seems like the kind of guy who'd be like, yeah, we got a job for you in Kansas. And you're like, yeah, fuck it. I've never been to Kansas. Let's go check out Kansas. Like I think he would do it. I think he'd do great too. His last 2 shows in were 2 of my favorites. I think he does a good job in there.
I think that little golf clap he did when Mick walked out was enough to possibly earn him the job right there.
The little what? Oh, that was. But it doesn't look like he's the lead horse in the race.
Wow. Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow, you think someone else might be glued in?
That's tasteless.
I tried.
They're
donate to the
they're
that horse fund or whatever it was.
Yes, the PPJLM, the
That's right.
Disabled Jockeys Foundation. I don't know. I think Mutt's gonna take it. He goes in the show a shit ton anyway.
Yep.
He was good back there. He brought topics. He was as long as like he still wants to do his newsletter. But like I've said it, like if he works for Barstool and does like the Mutt Stack, I'm sure he could write that as a blog on Barstool too. Like Dave's all about the blog.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Throw more in there. Make a little money for being in there. Just do the show. Like I'm sure he's nervous, and I would too, like working for a friend, especially like Kirk's hard. But just fucking do it. But he might be heading to Saratoga, where the fuck that horse race is with the fellas.
Yeah,
he might be on larger pastures, the next Chris Clemmer.
It was funny the way Portnoy put it. He was like, "This guy's so boring. I need to have him on my team." That was
Portnoy's way of saying, "I've been watching, and like, all right, this guy is." Or maybe Dave knows that Kirk's going to hire him, and he's like, "I want to feel this guy up."
That crossed my mind as well.
Look at that! Look at that!
You know, I like the idea of him turning Mutt Stack into a blog, right?
Yeah.
And I like the idea of Blind Mike then getting an anonymous account on the Barstool and just commenting on every single one of the blogs. That's not a 4-pack. The notes don't count.
5'4", 5'4".
The intro and notes don't count in the Friday 4-pack. Just over and over and over again.
I was cleaning up a bunch of toys in the living room before this, and this might speak to my mental health, but all I could think about was Mutt Kentucky Derby outfit from Milton's tomorrow. Walking up to Dave's suite. Don't even say hello. Don't do any of that. He just says the name of the winning horse, drops down a Mutt Stack business card, walks out. That horse wins.
He's got the ticket.
It's history.
The horse ticket is wrapped around the Mutt Stack business card. He puts it on the little table in the suite.
Bang.
That's
this
right.
one's on me, boss.
Yep.
It was such a powerful. And then Dave turns his head, and that horse just crosses the finish line first. The place goes bananas, and he turns to see Mutt. Mutt's just walking out in the distance. This is another day in his life. No need to celebrate. It's just business. That'd be so fucking sick.
Mutt's drinking a non-alcoholic Heineken.
Maybe he's drinking a High Noon. He's a company man now.
That's true.
See?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
What else do I got on? Let's see if I have any more KMS topics. Carabas. Him going to the Polar Park with Section 10 is kind of funny. I don't know why, but the thought of him going out to Worcester and doing the Polar Park. Have you been there, by the way?
No, we go once a year for work, and I always say no.
It's actually a pretty good spot to bring the kids.
Yeah, my neighbor's been. He said that too. It seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of work.
Like getting out there?
Yeah, the whole process. Parking, you know.
Well, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Actually, when I went out there,
I control the area.
I paid a key. It was like down the street from the stadium or whatever you want to call it. And I paid a little kiosk.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
Thank you for being honest. But yeah, Jared's show is fine. I like Jared on the show, but I think Kirk is right long term when he says, like, I want guys in here who know the show. like
Yeah,
Gilroy's and
right.
stuff. You know what I mean?
He always then like is so hard on himself after an appearance on Kirk's show. Like when they played that cut of him on his podcast with that other guy, and he was like, "Oh, I fucking sucked on
I
Kirk's show the other
sucked. Yeah.
day."
It's like,
What do you
"Jeez,
mean? You're
take
just
it
sitting
easy,
there
buddy.
talking like you're kind of just like any other time you've been on there.
Shooting the biscuit."
Yeah. Now, it being the Polar Park in Worcester for the Woo Sox, it is a pretty kid friendly establishment. But when Section 10 is there, they're doing like an ass eating contest. I thought that was
Are they actually?
yeah,
No
it's
shit.
weird. Yeah. Very strange.
Eating a little rump.
Yep.
You ever done that?
What other topics do we have here?
Yep, me too. Once or thrice. Hey, sometimes you got to go to low to get high. You know what I'm saying?
I have a terrible segue. Your newborn's pooping now, right?
Dude, yeah. Oh, John, that was awful.
I don't know.
That was crazy.
I'm
But
sorry. You're
regroup.
sick, dude.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, we're like last time we were here, it was like, oh, no shits. This little thing's pooping like 7-8 times a day. We were in the thick of it. poop joke.
But is it? And I know we brought this up last time, but is it actual poop yet, or is it that tar stuff?
Oh, it's the real freaking. It's the
Oh, it
real
is?
McCoy. I'll tell you
Okay.
that. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so we're fully into the poop phase, the sleep deprivation phase.
Looks like it's kicking in a little bit.
I'm exhausted too. I feel like I look like death.
Yeah, you might be losing it a little bit.
Losing it a little bit. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We could talk about. I'm trying to think anything else parenting.
How much have you driven with her in the car? That's always the worst when you have the newborn in the back. Like you're driving so slow, you're looking around at everything.
Appointments is really it right now, and to visit family once, I think. But yeah, the drive home from the hospital, it's like I'm fucking in that slow lane the whole way,
Yep.
just going 50, you know, the whole. I was gonna say the whole 9 again. I don't know why I keep saying that, but yeah, I hate driving. She's great. My kid's great. It's great. I'm tired. I just think that's it. My poor wife's even more tired. I don't need a medal. I just want some recognition. And I lost my dog.
What do you mean you lost? Oh, he ran away, right?
Yeah, but I found her.
Oh, her.
It was the yeah. Sorry, we didn't like. She didn't give us the choice to assume her gender, so it's more of an assumption. She can be whatever she wants to be. It's 2024. But fucking, I let her out to go pee the other day, and I usually just let her go in the backyard. She does her thing, and a rabbit ran by. I was like, oh, good for her. She's gonna have a little chase. But the rabbits always get away. They run through the fence.
Yeah, as they do.
There's a fucking dog-sized hole in my fence. She was as tired of losing, and just right through the fence.
Yeah,
and
like
I went to go let her back in. I'm like, uh-oh, this dog's not here. Fuck. And then I go over and it's like a fucking and I go outside of the front yard. I'm like, oh shit, like I lost a dog. God damn it. Like I always dream of this, but I don't want it to actually happen.
She hasn't run away before?
No, she's stupid. She's 3 doors down in my neighbor's front lawn licking herself. With like her leg up in the air, licking her ass, and then I call her name and she comes running back like a moron. But this is a difficult situation for you and I because, as you know, there's no fucking chance I can fix a fence.
No.
So what I did was I took a table and I leaned it against the fence, and I took a rock and I jammed it into the table so it couldn't move.
It'll stay like that for the next at least 2 years, wouldn't you say?
1,000%. But I also have some like 2x4s. I've given some thought to like trying to nail them to the fence.
So I'm laughing at Jackson's comment. Called you Pet Ford.
Ford.
I really enjoy that one. It's
pretty good.
I mean, the man has 3 dogs.
He's good.
Fish.
Yeah, I do have a bit of a fire. I had the fish. I got to try to sell that goddamn fish tank. It's just taking up space in my garage. But I was thinking about, I think I could put the fence back together, like not in a pretty way, but I think I could just take the 2x4s and Freddie just said chicken wire, but she's too stupid. She'll run through that and cut herself up. Is chicken wire barbed wire fence?
No, it's different. It's like I don't know. It's more wiry. I actually had to put some sort of chicken wire around the bottom of my, like wrapped around my shed, because my shed is kind of sitting up on cinder blocks, just the way the
Oh,
land is, and we didn't want critters getting under it.
skunks.
Yeah, exactly. So we put chicken wire, or I think it's chicken wire anyway, around
I know
the
what it is
shed.
now because the Patriots stink again. Said what Portnoy has, and he has. It's like that green fencing, right?
Yeah, it can be green. I think mine's just like, I don't know,
And I don't know why I
aluminum
color
color,
coded it. Orange
orange
snow.
snow fence.
So many options. What I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take out my nails and my hammer and try to put some 2x4s up in front of that fence. I have a A-frame, not an A-frame, a folding table blocking it, and then I took my son's ride along car and I flipped it over and it's also blocking it. So I think I'm all set, frankly.
sounds exactly like what I would have done. Oh, the dog thing. I told you what that medical assistant said to me yesterday or 2 days ago.
But she has a retarded dog too, right?
Yeah, and I can't believe she just. So I'm sitting there. I go in, and there's a gentleman that I'm gonna wait for. She's like, she sits me down in this office. She's like, "Here, David's gonna be in. You know, he's with a patient. He's gonna be in soon." So, but I just ask her, you know, how's your day going? She's like, I'm so tired. My dog. I think she said it's like a Bernese something, some big ass dog. She was
Okay.
saying. She's like, but it's a scaredy cat. And last night, my ice machine. It all comes back to ice, doesn't it?
This is
My
weird.
Oh, by the way, I'm completely diverting from the story, but Elio, Portnoy's buddy, don't they call him the Iceman? I'm telling you, dude. This
Mr.
is
Ice.
Mr. Ice. Mutt's Ice and Mr. Ice.
Somebody get that Mutt's ear. That's a t-shirt.
Right. That's right.
An ice machine
Well, anyway,
with Mutt's head on it, pumping out ice to Mr. Ice catching it.
he's catching it, and he's going to tie
John,
it up.
can you make that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So she's like, yeah, it's scared of the ice machine because it's making a lot of noise. She said, you ever seen those fainting goats? And I go, yeah, the goats that kind of freeze up and fall over like that. She goes, yep, that's my retard. Just out in the open in a doctor's office. Like I looked around for a second and I was like, in that moment, I was like, this lady's the coolest. But she just dropped it.
Bold. That's bold in this day and age.
Bold. Now I'll tell you
I
what,
never
we were
introduced
out.
my dog as a retard.
We were, yeah, she's never talked to me before. And she I wonder what kind of energy I'm giving off where you meet me and within 30 seconds
this kid uses
that's
the
my
R-word.
retard.
Yeah. I'm gonna say retard, and this kid's gonna be like, hell yeah, you're awesome.
Yeah. He's
gonna bring me lunch, and he's gonna hose me on it too.
Oh, I got a lunch tomorrow. I gotta figure out.
We can talk through it if you want. Where is it?
I'm gonna be in Bloomfield, Connecticut, but the easy part is they're gonna order it. They're gonna order everything, and I'm just gonna pick it up and pay for it. So I'm pretty much hands off. Yeah,
you're good. Yeah. Did you see all that flooding in Connecticut?
I did, and I saw you wishing ill of a certain person that lives out there.
Polar opposite. I was making sure that it wasn't in that area.
Fair. Oh, what are you doing
attacking
DJ Bean on Twitter? What are you, Mike, in 2014?
That was too easy. That was woke Pat being like, no, like anti-woke Pat being like, I'm going to show him what's up. How did I do on that one? Not great. That's okay.
More like DJ Flick my bean. You know what I'm saying?
Cook his ass. Don says Mayo has been awful lately. Mayo's flying high. He's flying high. I don't know what he's doing. I got to do one of his seminars, so I got to fork up the $900 and do it.
That's just like the entry fee, and then like he might pick you.
So I think that's the hold. I think that's the deposit. And
yeah, it is
like that an hour. I think it's something like that. Pack out to Home Depot and get a couple fence pickets. It costs like $4 a piece. No. You ever play Polish horseshoes?
No. You should have done that. No, and then we just move on. No,
are you talking about like putting the fence and then like you ever play Polish horseshoes?
Oh, you're talking to me? I thought you were talking to the chat.
I'm talking to you. Sorry. This is what I don't do. God bless BA. He's retired now, but he was so good at
handling. He's what? Chat. Oh, retired. Oh, okay.
Retired. Yes. No, we're not throwing that word around like it's like it's a goddamn football today. But I was playing Polish horseshoes.
Yeah.
And you have to stake the stakes into the ground, right?
Yeah.
fucking put my thumb right on top of it and walloped it with a hammer for one of them. So I think I broke my thumb. This was like 2 years ago. And then the other one, I hammered it and it fucking split right down the middle and we couldn't play because we only had one piece of wood.
Huh. So
Yeah.
so you're comparing that now to when you go to fix your fence. Like, is this going to be a repeat?
I think he's like, I think whatever he's saying, I'm going to have to hammer something. I'm either going to hurt myself or it's just not going to work.
Can you just drill it?
This is a good segue.
Yeah.
So this is a good segue to therapy. My therapist is a prop guy. I wanted to outprop the prop guy. So I have like a whole bunch of shit down here for when he brings stuff up. I have the mic. And I said something like,
you still think this guy's your therapist, huh?
He's immaculate. He's a beauty. I said something, and this is the moment where I knew we were perfect for one another. And I was like, you know what? And I don't like to play games. And I held up my Xbox controller.
Oh, no.
And what does he do? He reaches over and he's like, ah! And we just share a laugh for like 10 minutes. Yeah, so we're in a good spot. I got to bring new props next week. But yeah, I'm healed. I'm healing. Everything's going really well.
Perfect. All you needed was a couple props and a chiropractor with a walkie-talkie.
Chiropractor, props, drugs, and therapist, Eric.
Right.
You have a penis fixed to fence. It's not very big. Just want to throw that out there. So it's not really, it doesn't equate to my ability. It probably does. I'm sorry, I went into my third, but I wanted to get that prop thing off my chest because it was sick. Like I pulled out a prop. He had the same prop. He had a good one because I said shit. And I was like, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I was like, I don't know if we could swear in here. And he pulls out a poop emoji.
I was just going to say, pull out a poop emoji.
A-okay with me.
Yeah.
He's the man. I might have him on Facebook. He came up as people I may know.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Take your hammer the back. See, that's just too much. There's too much going on.
Yeah, it seems like way too much. So the video that Portnoy commented on was the Mutt's EI commentary, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. And so the EI stuff, here's my take on the EI shakeup.
Okay. Cook.
Every time they do a shakeup, it reminds me of the Taco Bell menu. It's the same shit, just rearranged and put into a different shape, whether it's in a taco, a burrito, an enchilada. It's all the same shit. It's the cheese, lettuce, fucking beef. It's just in a different shape. I don't get how just moving around the seats at the radio station is supposed to give this huge boost. Like, has it worked in the past? Not really. So why do you keep that model going? I just don't really.
So you're saying that Mego is like the nacho cheese Dorito.
Mego
nacho Doritos Locos taco, and it was really hip for a while, and now people are like, I'll get it on the value menu.
Well, I'm just saying, if I get a burrito or a something else, a five layer, whatever, it's all the same shit inside of it. It just looks different. Listen, the analogy.
I think it's actually a pretty good. It's actually a pretty good analogy. I would say it's more like a toilet shop where it's just a bunch of shit and they keep trying to sell it. Dr. Lord's therapist works in the same office as Dr. Freya, who apparently is in Florida since 2018. He's definitely here. He's with us. Mick sees him every month.
Yeah, but that's like you could do the Zoom stuff. That's a stretch. I gotta call that one out.
Yeah, that's how me and Eric talk. Zoom.
Yeah,
he likes to start by standing, and then he has a standing desk, which is cool. I need to get one of those.
Where's the camera pointed during all this?
But I lied to him. I don't know why I lied to him because he had a standing desk, and I was like, oh, how? Because he's here, and all of a sudden, like he came back to sitting, and I asked him, I was like, how'd that happen? He's like, oh, I have a standing desk, and like out of nowhere, I was like, oh, I ordered one, but it's back ordered.
That's awesome. Not true.
No. I just like wanted to be cool. I wanted to be cool. I need to talk to him about that because like that's probably not a good thing. I just wanted to be one of the cool guys, like the therapist.
I think it would be good if
I'm not fixed.
If you told him, you were like, listen, buddy, I lied to you.
That's what I should say next time. Listen, I'm totally bullshitting you. I've been in a sit down and I'm gonna stay in a sit down.
What would you do if he was like, that's it, we're getting rid of the props? You're not taking this
probably
serious
leave.
Enough. The props
probably
were
leave.
keeping
The
you.
props,
Yeah.
and it keeps it light. Like I could see that if somebody's like really, really suicidal and like they're like, yeah, yesterday I thought about ending it all. And like he pulls out his like remote. He's like, let's pause. I see the guy being like, okay, maybe it's not that bad.
They're gonna say he pulls up like a rope.
Man, he's like,
Yeah,
don't hang up yet.
yeah.
This show's off the rails. I am sleep deprived. I had something.
You told me you were chewing some guy's ear off at the grocery store about a bag of chips.
I love these situations. I was at the grocery store and he was just like a guy that was like me, like kind of sitting back, like taking deep sighs. I noticed he was looking at the Doritos, and I was like, I think I said like, I was like, do not stray from the ordinary. I was like, nacho cheese for Cool Ranch. He's like, you think? Yeah, you could tell right away he wanted me to have that conversation. I was like, yeah. I was like, I feel like they're just doing too much, and like I don't really like the spicy. He's like, I don't like the spicy either. He's like, that's why I stick with the nacho cheese, but the Cool Ranch gives me a little bit of flair. We literally started going all the way down the line. I transitioned that to Cheetos, and it was like 10 minutes have gone by of us just shooting the shit about chips. I do that with corn a lot too. I love corn. And
were you the person I was talking to about cutting the corn down the
yes,
side? Yeah, it just tastes so much better. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good. But
Yep.
I think I had a similar interaction like this in the corn aisle a couple of years ago, where like a lady was looking at cream corn or what is it, cream of corn.
Mhm. Yep.
I started talking to her about what the right kind of corn was. But yeah, I love those interactions. There's nothing better. And then it just ends. It's like, yeah, all right. Hey man, you enjoy the rest of your day. You too. You too. Take care. That's it. Like
Right.
I didn't see him in another aisle.
No,
There's
he
nothing.
goes back and he talks about his interaction with you on his podcast. You talk about him on yours, and you guys go on with your life.
Imagine if he's out there right now just rambling about Cool Ranch Doritos to his friend.
What I find interesting about that is I feel like chips, you usually know, especially once you've come of age, you know what chips you like. So for me, if I'm going to get chips, I'm going in the store, I'm grabbing the chips I like. Like there's not much deliberation for me.
I think you're a simpleton, and like I don't mean that in a rude way, but I think that's the dumbest thing I've heard in a really long time, because chips are the reason that I look the way that I do. Like there's been so many. Let's use Funyuns for example, right? Originally started as onion rings, Funyuns, very flaky but delicious. The bag often has more air than it does substance. Lay's has rolled out a wavy Funyun chip.
I've seen it.
And at 10:01, whenever we wrap this thing up, that's where I'm heading and that's what I'm eating. But I didn't go in there with that philosophy. Like if you go into the grocery store with your mind made up on chips, I feel like you're limiting yourself.
Well, I'm a plain chip guy. Like
Correct.
I don't do salt and vinegar. I don't do sour cream and onion.
Nope.
So I like, if I'm going chip, I like the original blue bag Sun chips. If
Oh
I'm
God,
feeling
me too.
crazy, I'll get the orange bag, the Harvest one. If I'm feeling frisky.
Yes, but it's rare. But because it's like, why would you
go?
You
can't find the blue bag. Like you can find it in a store, but if you go to like Subway or Jersey Mike's or whatever, they never have the original blue bag. It's a fucking travesty.
It's always the orange. It's almost like they're trying to get it off their hands.
Yes.
And they're pinning it on the people who they know have no other option but to buy it while they're ordering their sandwich.
By the way, the orange one is a sneaky stay on your hand situation, similar to
it's
a
Cheeto. Pain in the ass. It's a total pain in the ass. And you got to lick your fingers and you look like a pervert in the restaurant.
Yep.
But I agree with you because I'm very plain too. But I think if you go in there, like you go in like, I'm going to get Lay's classic potato chips.
I am privy to the baked Lay's. Yes. I like a baked Lay.
Me too. I do as well. But I think you have to go in there and you have to then go look at the Ruffles. I think you have to go look. I think you have to even look at the Utz, because a lot of the times Utz is going to be a 2 for $6. When you're looking at a family size bag of either Ruffles or Lay's Wavy or Baked Lay's, that's $5.29. So you can actually, I think for me, chips taste better based on the value. Like if I can get a 2 for $6 Utz family size, it's going to be better than a Baked Lay's $5.29. Yeah. Good.
Wow, Jackson from Australia. We don't have chips here like Funyuns. I knew Australia was a prison. I just knew it.
Send me your address and your social security number, and I will send you bags of Funyuns. Make sure you send the social.
I mean, at this point, you could just send socials out. It doesn't really matter anymore.
True, they're all out there, all 2.9 million of them.
Yeah,
Whatever it is.
billion, they said.
Million.
Oh, how about this one? You know, I said it on the last show, but I didn't really get into the story. My AC was broken.
Yes.
So just like when I told that story a while ago, I'm sure everyone remembers when I had to get my tire changed and a woman from AAA came and did it, and I was emasculated.
No. Did
So
you have a woman HVAC tech?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no.
I did. I know. And so she comes into the house. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like doing work on my computer. She comes in, she explains what's going on, and she keeps explaining it to me like I know what she's talking about. Like she showed me
The
like
worst.
pictures of stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, the fucking discombobulator. And then so she's there for a while, and my wife is there, my mother-in-law's there. Fast forward to like 2 days later, out of the blue, my wife was like, "Hey, my mom and I were talking about it. Do you think that lady was a man?" And I didn't think so, but my response was, I was like, "No, I think she was just autistic." she was like pretty quirky.
She had the tism?
a little bit. Like she was trying to show me these pictures on the phone. But she was wearing black gloves, like medical gloves, but black, and she couldn't get the pictures to swipe. So every time she tried to swipe it came out of like the camera roll, and she kept getting frustrated. And I was like, just take the fucking gloves off and swipe.
What a conversation. Yeah, do you think that woman was a transvestite? Nope, just retarded.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. My wife was like, "Oh, that like," she's like, "That's what angle you were coming at."
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely.
Anyway,
We don't have good luck with this stuff. The tire, now the HVAC tran, and then
by the way, she did a fantastic job. It's freezing in here.
Is it nice?
Yeah,
I like that. And then I had the animal control lady.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was the most demoralizing one.
She had to throw away your dead rat.
Pussy. It's the bunny.
Dude, you know she told the best story back in the break room that day.
Or she was like, yeah, it's another coward. I had to go pick up his carcass.
That's the best. See, dude, you're going back to work, huh?
Yeah, I think in a couple weeks. I haven't talked to anyone from work. I haven't put in PTO, even though I was getting a little bit. I gotta reach out tomorrow. But this is something I talked to my therapist about. If I don't want to handle a situation, sometimes I push it off to the.
That's all I do.
Outside. That's what the situation is right now. But I did tell Eric that I would tackle this today.
Are you checking email?
Once a day, in case a deal comes in.
Okay.
Other than that, no. Peace. I've found peace. Eric's helped me.
So when you start, do you have an idea of even what you're going to do? Like, do you go into the office? Do you just start hitting the road and trying to sell? What's the play?
Oh God, there's a baby crying. I got shit.
I think that should consistently be playing while we do drips. Like the kids should always be screaming.
I gave the baby to my wife, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "I thought you were taking the baby like you were last week." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, she cries more now. Like, I can't be out here. You know, I'll deal with it. I'll work the night shift tonight. When I get back, I am going to put a calendar meeting on with over 20 people, and it's going to be called Family Therapy. And I'm going to sit in a room for an hour, and I'm going to be like, this is why I went crazy. This is what I need to do to not go crazy and to do my job. And Bradford.
I was just gonna say,
that's
I'm
not
sorry.
right. That's not right.
Jackson's on fire tonight.
He's good, though. I'll tell you that. I'm going to sit everybody in a room, and it's just going to be a war session for like 2 hours. I'm going to be like, anybody that wants to take a shot at me, go ahead. Like, let's clear all this up. And then I just think I'm going to be the cock of the walk. Like, I think I'm going to be the king. Like, I think I have my
scary part is you're not kidding about that, are you?
No. I already have it planned out. I talked to Eric about it. He thinks it's a fantastic idea. He did a silver mic drop.
Oh, man. Oh, you didn't reach gold on that one. You're striving for it, but you didn't get there.
Yeah, it's actually true. I thought it was a great idea. Now I'm self-conscious. But yeah, that's what I'm doing when I get back, and then I'm gonna hit the ground running. And anything that I'm gonna fight all my demons. I'm gonna win this battle.
Good
Probably
for you.
not.
Good
I'll
for
be
you.
back at Butler by September 16th.
Who put up, was it Mikey Grab Bags? The tweet about the Minute fans going crazy. Your section made me laugh because it said laughed out of the loony bin.
Yeah. Did you see my response?
No, I
Those
don't
are my
think I
best
saw it.
ones. I said something like, I'll have you know, I was not laughed out of the loony bin. I received a standing ovation from 200 plus inmates or fellow lunatics and staff members.
You looked like
Gilroy.
Riggs walking out of
Yeah,
primary.
I was getting Riggs. Yeah. I was crying.
Dude, if you could recreate that video of you walking out of Butler, like that would be absolute chef's kiss. You cry. Yeah, your fingers are like you.
I do have to go back next week though. I'm back in Butler next week. I have a check-in.
A reval.
Make sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to do it in person so they can see if I'm ticking.
Yeah, get some rest before you get in there.
Dude, I need sleep. I've drank so much coffee.
What do we got in the chat here? Bonus episode of Drips. Pat trying to repair the fence. Absolutely. Drips outside the office. We've talked about Drips outside the office. That's something I want to do.
Yes, we have to do that. And on Ron's most recent live stream, somebody asked him, they were like, are you going to live stream cutting down John and Warren's tree? And he's like, no, he'll be like, that would be so egotistical of me to think people want to see what I do. Like, no way. Ron, if you're listening, we want to see that. My TikTok algorithm is all fucking tree stuff now. So I've been sending him tree videos. I found like this fucking $300 Japanese chainsaw that's huge. And he's like, yeah, that's fake. Don't buy that. But Ron, if you're listening, we want to see that. But yes,
well, I like the idea of Josh and James set them up at a table in my yard, and they do the play-by-play of Ron and the tree. Now we've got to have a dual camera situation where Ron's wearing the GoPro up top, and then the other camera's on the boys, Josh and James, and it kind of goes back and forth between like the real time of him in the tree, and then they're doing the announcing.
We probably need a snack pack too.
We need a snack pack. We could use some ice. Absolutely need some ice if it's a hot day.
Yep. Yeah, I think we should do that. But yeah, we have to do drips outside the office. I think I will try to repair that fence tomorrow with my method of using the 2x4s. And I'll try to videotape it. I still think it would go well. But yes, we have to figure that out.
I mean, we won't, but we should.
Shut down. Yeah, I think my brain just stopped working for a second there. Yes.
Perfect timing.
Papagino's and Warwick show. Yeah, it's a good point. Papagino's, good place.
Yeah, whatever happened to Portnoy and Kirk owning the Papagenos, Minifans running the show.
Maybe Mudd will run it.
That's true.
Endless possibilities with Mike Monansky. Dave, if you're listening, imagine. That'd be so great.
Well, we know Dave's listening.
David Portnoy?
Yeah, you remember. We can't say it, but...
Oh, the DM that he sent us about the show?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
He does that a lot.
No big deal.
Him and Miss Peaches.
All right. I think I'm done.
Live might be... Oh, Beanbag Ron, it would be risky. I get that. He did say that. That's right. Ron, I'd like you to think about, maybe text me or talk about your next live show. I saw a video of a guy cutting down a tree, and a squirrel got flung off the tree, broke its back legs, and the family had to nurse the squirrel back to health. It was like a rags to riches story. It was super cute on TikTok. Has that ever happened to you? John, that's all I got. Are you frozen?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I'm out of here, man.
All right.
I'll see you.
I'll see you guys. Bye.
Toodles. You got me, son of a bitch.